DMC to KING. I'ma say this once, I ain't gonna say it again. DMC in the place to be, and the place for you to be is right here with Fred White. Tales from the pen. Yeah, that's it.
Here we go, people. We back. Fred White, Tales from the Pen. If you're new to the channel, go down and hit the subscribe button. Click the bell notification, and then click the word all. And make sure the bell is shaded in. This way, anytime I post a video, you will know about it. So yesterday I posted a couple of videos about C-74. And I said if I get 1,000 views on each video, I will put up part 3. So here we go. Part 3. One thing about C-74 was that not only did you have to duck the inmates who are always looking to catch wreck on people. You know, sometimes dudes be bored in the day room and they just want to catch wreck. Where catching wreck to them is like I've seen maybe to see who could put who to sleep the fastest. Right? You'll have a couple guys sitting up there watching TV in the front. And I seen 2 dudes go and they made a bet to see who could put who to sleep the fastest. And they both ran up on the kids and they yoked them out. Put them to sleep. I don't know who won, who cares. Catching wreck. That's what catching wreck. Catching wreck is, you know, maybe picking a herb, beating him up. Picking a herb, making him, you know, do things. You know, they may make him do, you know, I know this kid, his name was Roger Rabbit. I mean, this kid was like a derelict. And they used to just make him do like 10 dead cockroaches. Get on your back and do dead cockroaches for a cigarette or something like that. You know what I mean? Entertaining. Roger Rabbit. I'll never forget that kid. Everywhere he went, he got into it. Like dudes beat him up and made him do shit in every single house. He was like one of the most picked on inmates I've ever seen, ever. I don't know why they called him Roger Rabbit, but that was his name. He used to just do shit, you know, just out of the ordinary shit. You know, so people used to, you know, abuse him and shit. That's how it was. If you were a weaker inmate, especially in C-74, you got taken advantage of. If you were a weaker inmate in C-74, you got abused. That's a fact. You had to be semi-strong to survive there. Because again, so here you are ducking inmates, and then you also got to worry about ducking the police. Because half the time, a lot of those police would walk around like they was more gangster than the inmates. And they, like I said, in every house, they would have goon squads. Every house, if they were a steady officer and they was on it like that, they had people in the house that would fuck you up for them. Then they had police that inmates just liked, and if you fucked with, you was gonna get fucked up. I remember Miss G, her name is Miss Gabadon. Back in the, you know, late 80s, early 90s, everybody loved Miss Gabadon. And I remember this one kid, him and her, I don't know what he was beefing with her about, because she was like mad cool, but he was calling her all types of, you know, B words and all types of shit. Dudes just beat him up. Dudes just jumped him and beat him up. And she didn't have to ask her none of that. That's how it is in there. You sometimes, you know, people get the misconception, oh, inmates stick together. That's absolutely not true. That's not true at all. If inmates stick together, then there would be no wars and no problems and no nothing, right? But C-74 was different. Because everybody in there, with the exception of a few adult houses, was all adolescent. There could be no adults with the adolescents, except for the adults who played adolescents. Right? You had dudes back then, you know what I mean? Shout out to Blacko Tobacco, Blacko Macko. Blacko Macko was like 22, 23 playing adults, playing adolescent, because what it is from 16 to 18. Once you turn 19, you go to adulthood. Now you're with the adults. but that's the day you turn 19. But you had certain dudes that would come through and just come through with different identities, different names. Back then the system was a little different. Nowadays it's hard to do that with, you know, how they have the fingerprints set up and everything. Back then it was a little different. You could come through as Mark Smith, go home, get arrested, you know, 5 months later come back as John Taylor, like, and that's what certain dudes would do. So certain dudes would, from adults, they would play adolescents, and they would be strong because, number one, they've been bitten. Some of them been locked up since they're 12, 13, 14 years old, so they've been locked up 8, 9 years, and they're bitten with people who are 16 and 17, so they can manipulate the situation a little bit, you know what I mean? But mostly it was adolescents, and it was all adolescents who had a lot of time and didn't give a fuck. Because that's the thing, you know, especially when you're young, when you're a teenager, your emotions is extreme. You don't like something, you love it. You don't just dislike something, you hate it, right? So those emotions are hard to control, even as adults. But when you're a teenager and your mind's not fully developed, and you're facing 25, 30, 40, 50 years, you can imagine the mentalities of the people around and the people that I was around. So again, I tell these stories we already know, people. Not to glorify anything. I'm just telling it like it is, so these kids understand what really happens. Then you got police that, excuse me, they will let you shoot the 5. That's what we called it back then. Like you and somebody else have beef, and y'all want to fight. You know that the 3 to 11 tour, you know, the steady officer, he coming in and he's cool, and he's gonna let you guys fight. So when he comes in, you go to him, yo, me and him we want to shoot the 5. Like a Sanctioned type shit. So what the police would do is they'll come for the count, they lock everybody in, except them 2 people. And they'll be in the day room, and you'll see there'll be a bunch of officers just watching in between the gates and just watching, or inside the day room. No other inmates. And dudes would just shoot the 5. You know what I mean? And go back to their cells, and, you know, that was that. So you had police that was on it like that. And you had police that used to love the violence. I told you guys, for those who don't know the story, my first knockout was kind of like that. Me and the kid had beef or whatever. He was a little big mouth kid. He was from East New York. He was from Pink Houses. And he was just a little big mouth Spanish kid. And, you know, not a lot of people liked him. He was a troublemaker. He was one of them little troublemaking kids from East New York, Pink Houses. I believe he was from Pink Houses. One night, me and him got into something. More as I thought about it, more of it came back to me. Don't really remember. We got into a little argument. I was the suicide aide in the Bing. One main. I used to come out at nighttime, use the phone, everything. So me and him had got into it about something, and he like spit, and it was like he spit in my face, pretty much. Like I moved, it got on here, but a little bit got on my face. Me and him got into an argument. I forgot what it was about, but he was in his cell, I was out the cell. And he spit at me, it was like he spit in my face. Okay. So later on, he was talking on the gate. It was like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I was on the phone. I was like, I'm gonna kill this dude, though. I'm gonna get him. And the police is like, yo, the dude's just talking, man. You gotta keep him quiet. Because that's how it was at nighttime, the night suicide. You gotta keep things quiet. And if you kept things quiet, then you could get on the phone. You could do what you had to do. So this dude already spit in my face. White boy. He said some shit. Because that's usually people's go-to. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you talking about, you a white boy. He's like, the fuck away from myself, white boy. Some shit like that, spit at you. I was like, oh. Okay. He was talking to his man, Shop. You know what I'm saying? The Spanish kid. We'll call him Pedro. Yeah, we'll call him that. So Pedro was talking on his gate late. I was like, all right. You know, I did, you know, the most horrific thing. Yeah, I put something in the cup, a little piss, a little bit, and went by his cell. I crept to his cell. He was talking, making noise. I threw that shit and shut the fuck up. Fuck off the gate. Was I wrong? Yeah, I was young, dumb. He spit in my face just 2 hours earlier. It is what it is. He beefing. His man shot, start beefing. They on the gate. So now in the morning, I'm like, yo, you already know what it is. Just play the yard. See, it was different back then. When you had the big yard, we used to be able to come out, hands in our pockets. We go in between the A-B gate, and then we would go outside before the cages. Then they started putting cages up. And they put a certain amount of people in the cage. You know, the cages started. But before that, it wasn't like that. So we was like, yo, when the yard is, you know, we popping. But when the next shift came in, you know what I'm saying? You know, the police that was in the bubble, he saw what happened. He knew what happened, so he told the other police, and they were the 7 and 3 tour. They was alright. They was with the shit. So he came and was like, yo, you want to fight him? He went to him. You want to fight him? He's like, yeah, wow, beefing. You want to fight him? I said, yeah. Boom, locked us like boom, right there in the hallway. Dudes was on the gate screaming, boom, boom, bang it, yo. I remember my man Torres, I told you about, the youngest serial killer in New York history. I did an episode on him. Go back and check it out. Him. I remember he was right there. Al G was right there. Alex, one of the ones I told you, he's the first ones to show me how to carry a razor in my mouth. Alex DeForn. His name is Malik now up north. He was banging, boom, boom. Because you had some dudes fuck that white boy up. And then they had my back. Fuck him up, Fred. Boom, let's do it. Boom. We went at it. You know what I mean? We went out for a little while. Bang, bang, bang. You know, you can see you already know. He threw some shit. I caught, boom. Hit with that hook. Boom. He was on Bambi legs. You ever see when Bambi was on the ice and shit? And when Bambi first started walking? Drugged him. For you boxing connoisseurs, remember when Zab Judah fought Costa Zoo and Costa Zoo caught him and Zab was doing the pepper seed? Love Zab, just saying. Remember? Rocked him. Dude, everybody's like, yo! Boom, boom, boom. Dude started calling me Mighty Whitey. I had all types of names. I done ran into like 4 or 5 Mighty Whiteys since. But dudes used to call me Mighty Whitey. Soul Man. I had so many different names over the years. Even Fred White, you know, Fred is my middle name, but White, it's not, it's just a thing. Because people used to say white boy Fred, white Fred, white Fred. Because there was other Freds. Which Fred? White Fred. So eventually I just started, it went to Fred White. It went to I started talking about myself in third party. Like, yo, you guys know Fred White don't play that. Boom, Fred White was born. Mid-90s, and I just been Fred White ever since. But that KO put me on the map. You know what I'm saying? That KO put me on the map. And then we got it on again like a couple of days later, actually. Not really, a little bit. We were coming out. I don't know what it was for. I can't tell you if it was for law library. I can't tell you if it was sick call. I can't tell you if we were going to the yard. I don't remember. But I do remember us being outside in the hallway of 1 Main. Outside in the hallway. In the corridor. Okay? And I was like towards the front of the line. And he came out. I seen him. And when I looked, I seen him come out. And the way he bopped. Everybody know who I'm talking about. When he bopped, the way he talked. It was annoying. So I looked, and he looked at me like, what's up? And this was like the first time since I had knocked this fucking ass out that we had been able to, what's up? And I started walking towards the back of the line, right there in the hallway, in the corridor. Police was like, yo, what you doing? Because I'm supposed to have my hands in my pocket. Yo, what you doing? That's a breach right there. You can't take your hands out your pocket. Up north, I seen people get fucked up for that. Yo, what you doing? So I'm going to Pedro, and he's walking, and we like meet, trying to, kind of meet. But I was more already further to the back. Like, I was already up on him. What's up? Like, what's up? And as I ran up on him, his man shot that I was telling you about hit me. Bang! He caught me from the side. I ain't gonna lie. Bang! Oh, shit. Now they trying to jump me. I'm just trying to fight, pull, jumping. You know what I'm saying? Yo, break it up. I was pulling the pin. They ain't even do nothing. And that was the last time I seen Pedro. It wasn't the last time I saw Shaw, though. I saw Shaw about 12 years later up in Clinton. I'm in the mess hall in line, you know what I mean? I'm sitting down, tables all the way across. It's not circles in Clinton, it's different. It's all the way across, and he happened to sit right there, and I'm looking, I'm like, this curly haired dude, what? Oh shit. He looked up, what's up, Fred? I said, what's up, Shy? You know what I mean? You know, and, yo, you know, we go, man, that was, yeah, whatever, man. It was already 12 years later with some kid shit. You know what I'm saying? But I fought both of them. Right there in the hallway, in the corridor. Again, so when people ask me how did I get along, I was myself. That's all. I did whatever I had to do. That was my first KO. My second KO, we're gonna call him B-Love from Queens. Yeah. I remember he wanted my phone time. Like a bunch of new people. It was always transitions in houses. Not just C-74, just anywhere, right? Because there was always riots, there was always shit going on, there was always people getting packed up, left, moving. There was always 10 new people coming in. It was always transition. Okay? You with me? So he was part of a transition of a bunch of other group of new kids that came in. I guess he sat back, whatever. And he wanted my phone time, and that's how it is. When you had phone time, you also understood that now you have to hold this down. So it's like a responsibility, because if you get your phone time taken, that shit sticks with you forever. You can't go nowhere else and get phone time. You got your shit taken over there. You ain't coming over here getting no phone time. So you had to hold your shit down. And this was like my first time I actually had phone time, and I had a little half hour. And dude was from Queens too, but whatever. I guess he felt I was the weak link and he wanted to fight for it. So we went to the back on the side right there, you know what I mean? And we fought. He was another victim. You know what I'm saying? He was another victim. Again, I wasn't a big, you know what I'm saying? You know, I wasn't what I am now, 6'3". I was like 5'7" then. It was a kid. I gained so many inches in jail. But I fought. Dropped him. He was another one. Dropped him. Yeah. I had to get my respect, my props. But not on no gangster shit. I don't want people to sit here and think like Fred's perpetrating. Like, no. I just did what I had to do under circumstances living in the jungle. That's all. Right? If they drop you off in the Everglades, you're going to have to get your way the hell out of there. It's one way or another. Fuck if you're scared. Just try to make it out of there and get it out of there alive. You better survive, because all these gators is coming. And they're looking hungry. What you going to do? You better adapt. You better not become gator food, right? You survive. So I commend anybody who made it out that shit. Anybody, because I see a lot of comments, a lot of people are like, you know, I was there, blah blah. I even had a comment today, I had to delete it. Dude wrote, you know, I'm an ex-correction officer, I worked there in the 90s, and to be honest, I used to love to go to work to beat inmates the fuck up. That's what he wrote. I deleted the comment. He said he loved going to work just so he could beat inmates up. Because this is what I'm saying, right? Because Island is not a correct, like, it's not, there's nothing correctional about that shit. C-74, kids, is a fucking war zone. Literally a war zone. Every place you look, there's a landmine. Every place you look, there's a bomb. You look over that hill, there's a sniper. You gotta survive. Like Call of Duty, Except you only got one life. Yeah, you only got one lifeline. There's no press reset. You can't press reset. You can't start the game over. Once you're in that Call of Duty there. Rikers Island, C-74. It's horrible. Worst place I ever been. Next place I went to was C-95. Now, as soon as I get to C-95, I get to a house. Now, let me back up a little bit. I had heard about that. I had been on the island a couple years already. When I turned 19, they sent me to C-95. Now, I heard this kid's name through the grapevine. You hear people's names, blah, blah. That's how it goes. The kid's name was Hap. I don't know how true it was. They say he was one of Larry Davis's crimies on some cases. I met so many people who said they were Larry Davis co-defendants. I don't know. But the kid name was Hap. Harold. And the kid, you know, had a little reputation. So I go to C-95. I walk in the house. I'm in the cells now. Take my bags, I go put them in my cell, close, I come right back out. I need to see what's going on here. Now I need to get on this phone and let my people know that I done moved. They done moved me. I'm with the adults now. Go to somebody, seen some kid, whatever. I seen dudes on the, yo, who phone is this? Who running this phone? There's only one phone. Who phone? They're like, that's Hap's phone. Now, when I walk in to this place, I walk in. Showers is over here on the right. Phone's right here. To the left is the day room. And then it's cells. Long tier of cells. Back and all the way down. Then there's a gate down almost towards the end. And there's like 2 or 3 more cells behind that gate. So when I walk in, I see somebody sitting. There's people sitting, and there's somebody sitting in front of the television. With another man on his lap. With you know, I don't put politically correct because I don't want to say no, whatever. We used to call them birds. No disrespect to the community. We used to call them birds or lizards, whatever. So there's a bird sitting on this dude's lap, and they watch a TV together in the chair. Fast forward. Who got this phone? Yo, go talk to Hap. Hap. Oh, the name rings bell. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Who's Hap? He up there sitting in the front. With the bird on his lap? That's Hap. Not the bird. The Hap is. Wait, so hold on a second here. You want part 2 to C-95? I just gave you a little piece of part 1. You want me to speak about C-95? Put it in the comments. Now for this video, I need 1,200 views. If I get 1,200 views, I'm dropping the rest of the story because it's crazy. You already know the motto, people. Experience is the greatest teacher. But somebody else's experience can be just as valuable if you pay attention and listen. And on that note, people, Fred White, signing off. Part 2 is bananas.